right. All right, everybody ready? Okay. All right, good morning, everyone. It is another incredibly exciting morning in our city. We are here to announce another milestone for the city of Tampa, but also for a community, a neighborhood that has really been underinvested in through the years. Through the tireless efforts of Congresswoman Kathy Castor, who is joining us here today, we have been awarded a $24 million federal grant to help us transform Palmetto Beach area around here. This is an incredible opportunity which really cannot be understated, and I might add is extremely competitive. I would like to say third time is a charm, because this is the third time that we've gone after this particular grant, and the persistence has clearly been paid off for us. So the President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law has created once-in-a-generation opportunities to update Tampa's infrastructure, and we are proud of our incredible team at both the local, state, and federal level for securing these valuable federal dollars. And that, if you look around our city, we would probably be here for another 30 minutes if we mentioned every single opportunity that the city of Tampa has been granted from President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure bill. It has been incredible, not only for our community, but for many others as well. Palmetto Beach is home to some of Tampa's most vulnerable residents. It's within an area of persistent poverty, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. And also, it is an area that over the years, as you can see by the Bermuda Boulevard behind us, has gradually declined, and due to the deteriorating infrastructure has become disconnected from important transportation networks in our city. So creating a safer, more connected area is critical for this community and its residents, which need better transportation options to get to jobs and enjoy valuable public spaces like this waterfront that we're on right now. So conserving and improving access to miles and miles of waterfront space for generations of Tampanians to enjoy is priceless and critical for improving the quality of life and uplifting this Palmetto Beach neighborhood. As a low-lying coastal community, it's vulnerable to recurring flooding and storm surges, making stormwater improvements another major component of what we are calling the Pathway to Palmetto project. Just to give you a couple quick details about this, project is focusing on Bermuda Boulevard behind us, but also includes 26th Avenue and 22nd Street. The existing roadway experiences several stressors that must be addressed to make it safer and more accessible. Some of the examples of the improvements: reconstruction of the seawall, the addition of seawall trails, resurfacing and narrowing travel lanes to prevent speeding, formalizing on-street parking, upgrading the sidewalks, making more pedestrian crossings, more trees, and much, much more. So in addition to the $24 million grant that our Congresswoman has secured for us, the City of Tampa is also providing a $6 million match that will help with the help of other funding sources. Currently, our staff is working with U.S. DOT to finalize the grant agreement, but the preliminary work is already underway. We were so confident that we are going to receive this grant that we have already started the preliminary work. So this grant agreement will set a timeline in place for completion, but the entire project will probably take 5 years. That is how impactful it is going to be. So again, we want to thank Kathy Castor for fighting so hard to bring these dollars to our community for the much needed improvements in our infrastructure. And now we would like to turn it over to Kathy Castor.
Great. Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. I love investing in our neighbors and our neighborhoods across the Tampa Bay area, especially here in the city of Tampa. This is a RAISE grant out of the infrastructure law passed in 2021 by President Biden and a Democratic-led Congress. RAISE is rebuilding American infrastructure through sustainability and equity. And I want to thank Mayor Jane Castor and her team for her tenacity, her vision in uplifting our neighborhoods that often haven't had the investments over the past decades. I want to thank President Biden for championing an Investing in America agenda, doing everything through that agenda to help lower cost and to build safer communities across America. And the mayor is right. The infrastructure law is paying great dividends to neighborhoods all across the Tampa Bay area. But I especially want to thank the Palmetto Beach neighbors. Tom Reynolds is here, one of the community leaders, but it is their advocacy to say that it's time for equitable investment and fairness when it comes to federal grants and lifting up all neighborhoods. The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act was a life-changing infrastructure bill. Yes, it's repairing roads and bridges across America. The Port Tampa Bay a few years ago won a big RAISE grant to help rebuild a bulkhead at Port Red Wing. It's improving our drinking water. It's expanding broadband. But I think the most exciting part of it is something new, and that is to direct dollars to neighborhoods that haven't had the investment over the years. And Palmetto Beach is rich in history, largely constructed over 100 years ago based upon the cigar industry in Ybor City, where people immigrated from all over the world to live and work in the cigar factories, cigar box factories. And Palmetto Beach was kind of their neighborhood where a lot of those workers lived. And the historic streetcar used to connect this park, DeSoto Park, to the rest of the city. It was kind of a tourist destination, believe it or not, with a beach and people who would come to spend their vacations here. But over the decades, it didn't get the investment that it needed. Really, over the past 50 years, as the highways, Highway 60, the Crosstown Expressway, as the port grew, this beautiful enclave has not been treated equitably. And I'm so glad that the mayor and her team and all of us understand that we're not going to do that anymore. All of our neighbors deserve to be uplifted and to have safer streets and to have sidewalks that are ADA compliant, and to be able to lift you economically, connections to jobs, and just making sure this is resilient. Tom was telling me about what happens here with a major storm and high tide. It's not safe due to flooding, and it's not fair that certain neighborhoods are flooded out while others are able to build up. So this grant also follows a $3 million community funding project grant that I secured from the Department of Homeland Security that helped with design and construction. But it's the city of Tampa's tenacity and the fact that they're shovel ready and ready to go that I think was one of the hooks here for this almost $25 million federal investment from President Biden's Infrastructure Act. I want to thank Vic Beatty, Whit Reamer, and again Tom Reynolds, the entire city of Tampa team, for being so forward-leaning and understanding how important it is that we rebuild American infrastructure, but that we do it in a sustainable way and an equitable way. Congratulations, team.
All right, as Congresswoman Castor pointed out, although we have given her well-deserved credit for receiving this grant, it took a number of individuals and groups to bring this to the finish line. She mentioned Tom Reynolds, who is a resident, lives right over here in Palmetto Beach, and he has been a tireless advocate for these improvements, working since the 1990s, and we'll hear from him in just a second. State Senator Darrell Rouson's office, represented here by Ella Coffey, has played a pivotal part in us receiving this grant as well. Whit Reamer, our Sustainability and Resiliency Officer, has done so much work on this particular project, and working alongside Vic Beatty, who you're going to hear from in just a second as well, from our Mobility Department. And then the City of Tampa administration can't do much without the cooperation of our City Council, and we have Council Member Alan Clendenin here today. One of the wonderful things about the City of Tampa that Congresswoman Kathy Castor has talked about is the way that everyone comes together and works towards a common goal. And that's one of the reasons that we've been successful here today. So I'm going to bring up Vic Beatty now.
All right, Vic.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Congresswoman Castor. This is great news. I mean, this just never gets old, and we never tire of thanking Congresswoman Castor for her tenacity in bringing much needed dollars to Tampa's neighborhoods. I'd also like to thank the Mayor and Whit, our SRO, Sustainability and Resilience Officer, because it was through their efforts early on when we were developing our strategy as a city that identified multi-benefit projects, breaking down the silos across departments and delivering whole solutions to neighborhoods. And to that end, this is like the original neighborhood with Ybor City that made Tampa the big city that it was. There were 2 cigar factories here. And then Congresswoman Castor provided a great background on the history. The streetcar ran here. But today, as the neighborhood stands, it has a lot of needs. I mean, we've got the Bermuda Boulevard seawall, of course, from a resilience, a flooding perspective. But access needs. This neighborhood is closed in between 22nd and Adamo. And we're working with our partners at the state to open that up as well by signalizing 26th and Adamo and signalizing the Thea-Selman Expressway ramps at 22nd. And other elements of bringing safe and affordable access to this area will be part of this project as well. This is our commitment to the neighborhoods, and the neighborhood has been very patient and diligent on this as well. This is also not a project in isolation. This has been planned with other investments beyond this area. So 26th Street will be part of a continuous path that we call the Green Artery. This is, again, low-cost transportation for all of Tampa, which will also, and again, connect with Palmetto Beach in a very, very economical and safe manner. And of course, to our team, both at Mobility, with Sustainability and Resilience, our grants team, our legal team, all of these folks, and then our consultants, HNTB and Applied Sciences, that have all worked on this since 2011 in some way, shape, or form. But I know that the neighbors have worked on this since the 90s. But I'll just leave it at that. This is just a really exciting day, and I couldn't be happier with our council, our mayor, and our congresswoman that have helped us get here. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Mayor, you might not know this, but before I started, during my interview process, some of the team said, Whit, Sustainability Resilience Officer, this is a new position in the city. What are the types of projects that SROs, kind of promote and advocate for in a city? And I thought for a second, and I said, Mayor, I think Palmetto Beach is a perfect example of how you take something just like the RAISE grant, rebuilding American infrastructure sustainably and with equity. This is the epitome of an SRO's dream. We wrote Resilient Tampa with this type of project in mind, breaking down silos between mobility, stormwater, parks and rec, and then rebuilding them up together with the community's input. We have been, the amount of tacos I've eaten at these restaurants with neighbors and with our consultant teams and with media, trying to get them out here to show them this incredible place. It's been 4 long years that I've been working on this. I know the neighbors have been working much, much longer. I am so proud of the work of our congressional representative, Kathy Castor, our teams here in the city of Tampa, our consultants, and I honestly, I just want to thank the Neighborhood Association. Palmetto Beach Civic Association has been an incredible partner in this process. You know, you go to some areas of town and they say, we don't want any new people here. We don't want development. We don't want investment. We just want to be the same. And I think that we can preserve the character and the history of this neighborhood while also transforming Tampa's tomorrow. And that's what we set out to do under this administration. We talked about neighborhood placemaking, we talked about lifting up communities, and we talk about environmental sustainability and resilience. The upgrades that we will make through this project would have prevented some of the losses that this neighborhood saw during Hurricane Idalia. So those are real economic losses that happened to this neighborhood, real inconveniences that the families that were flooded out had to go through. And with these future investments, not only on the seawall side, but the stormwater side, the trees, those are going to create a neighborhood that I think you guys will appreciate for generations to come. And I couldn't be happier to be part of the process with you all. Now the hard work begins. We gotta get to work here. And Tom, I'd like to invite you up just to share a few words about your experience and your time here in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It is truly a great day in Palmetto Beach. As said here, I couldn't be more excited of what's happened from our city, county, state, and federal levels. Mayor Castor, Councilwoman, it's just incredible. This was not a one-day effort. It has been going on for decades, and to see this actually come to fruition is put a smile on my face and a lot in the community that I've been able to share this with into a small group, which now is going to be a much bigger group. So I'm looking for all the positive feedback. I'm fourth generation here. My great-grandparents came into Palmetto Beach, and as mentioned, they worked in the cigar factories as a lector, cigar roller. My family had their commercial construction business here. My grandmother had, on 22nd Street, her floral business. She taught at HCC. We've all gone to DeSoto Elementary, and this park is where generations have played in the past that I look forward to having generations play in the future. It's a beautiful area. It's considered our hidden gem. And with the safe streets that are coming onto Bermuda Boulevard, all of the infrastructure help that's going to happen, but more importantly, the seawall itself to be completely rebuilt. Behind me, you can see the damage that's been done to it in its construction of over 100 years ago. So looking forward to getting that rebuilt. I know it's going to take a few years, but nothing great comes fast. And that's what this proves, is that this was a lot of effort from Whit, everybody on his team, Stephen Benson, you name it, everybody that's been mentioned already. So today is a great day in Palmetto Beach. I look forward to our hidden gem improvements and to rebuild and revitalize this area. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Alan Clendenin, Tampa City Council representing District 1, which is citywide. Most everything that needed to be said has been said, but I just want to emphasize how historical it is that President Biden has absolutely committed to rebuilding America. I don't even know if this is once in one generation. This is once in multiple generations. I mean, I think you have to go back to post-World War II and the 1950s to see this kind of investment like in the interstate system that we're seeing not just in the city of Tampa, but across the United States of America. And having great partners like our Congresswoman Kathy Castor to be there to champion not just Tampa, but Hillsborough County and the entire Bay Area is something that you just can't thank enough for the amount of effort that she's put in. I mean, how many times do we sit here with Kathy bringing home money to improve this infrastructure? And as Whit just pointed out, you look across the way at that seawall. I mean, these are the type of infrastructure projects that are being fixed across the United States of America. But most specifically here in Tampa, our needs are great, our resources are few, and it's help like this, by the way, returning money to us. This is not money that was being given to. This is taxpayer money being returned to the Bay Area to be spent on people that paid for their taxes over their lifetime. So I am really proud to be standing here. I'm proud to be standing here every time we receive a grant like this. I look forward to many more because I know Kathy's going to be there for a long time, and she's going to, and we're going to have hopefully another term of the president to be able to deliver for Americans. And thank you, Congresswoman Kathy Castor. And specifically, thank you for the staff. The staff behind us has been incredible, and the people that are not here that stand behind them work very hard for the taxpayers of the city of Tampa to return a lot for very little. We ask a lot of them to be able to bring things back and fix Tampa, and they do an incredible job of doing that. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and man, what a beautiful morning.
All right. Anybody have any questions?